What's going on, folks? TJ Lauerman here, head of Community 4 out of the Park Baseball. And I'm joined by JJ Cooper from Baseball America. JJ, how's it going?
Good, good. Baseball today. So
I got
can't
to
complain.
I got to watch Kirk hit a single earlier today. I'm very excited about that.
Broke up the no hitter,
Yeah. He's like a little cannonball running the bases.
and he is one of the best pure. We were talking about it. We have a Slack channel that I know this is going to shock you, but that we discuss a lot of baseball on during playoff games. And just talking about, we were talking about him when he was up, and even before that hit, it was like his takes were such good takes. Like he was seeing the ball really well. His timing's really good, and you know he was one of the few guys, really the only guy that the Blue Jays had who had kind of an answer for Blake Snell in a very impressive 5 2/3, I guess it was from Snell.
Yeah, I think they had a stat. It was the first time in the playoffs one playoff day that two guys had gone 5 innings or 5 no-hit innings. That didn't even account for the reliever for the Astros also went 4 no-hit innings. So 3 guys going over 4 no-hit innings in one day seems like a lot.
So I have to. One other thing that just struck me though, I'm a little worried, at least personally, tomorrow. That was too much baseball for me. And I don't mean that from the standpoint that I don't love baseball and I don't want a lot of baseball. I mean it from, I feel like that I was paying attention to the Twins Astros game and I was trying to watch that and Giolito throwing a no hitter
Mm-hmm.
against the A's, a perfect game, I should say. And I, I couldn't, I felt like I was missing things, I guess is what struck me.
Yeah, and that was for a little bit. I had what did I have? Yeah, I had the A's game on my tablet, and I had the Twins game on the TV, and then a little bit later, I had to bring out my phone and have another game on that. And yeah, it's very hard to keep track of what's going on in 3 different games at the same time, and we only have to
And
deal
there
with
was a time when we had three, and then all of a sudden it went like from 3-1.
yeah,
It was like the Twins game ended and the Astros, and then like okay, I'm gonna put the A's White Sox on the big TV now, and boom, it was done.
yeah,
I think I saw the final out.
yeah. I think I saw the final out, and I saw, or no, I didn't see the final out because I think I saw Colome come in. Then I saw your tweet that we went from 3-1 real quick, and I was like, oh, the game's already over. I was like, that was pretty quick. Yeah, 4 games today, 4 important games. A normal baseball game, a normal day, you get all the games going, but you're not intent on watching all of them. But when it's playoffs, it's like we need to watch all these things, and
And tomorrow is going to be more baseball. I'm literally, I've been looking around. This is the office. The guest room has turned into the office during coronavirus. And I'm like, okay, how many screens am I going to need to have running in tomorrow at some point?
yeah,
More than I have, I think.
yeah. I'm
I'll
like,
be able to do it with like old phones, I'm sure, and Kindle Fires that were like, I got for like $20 that are, the sevens, but
mhm. Yeah,
it'll be a little bit insane.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have one that I use an alarm clock here. It's just like, it's an alarm clock.
I might take my son's and use his. Who knows? Because yeah, today was 4, and then tomorrow it's a game at 12:08, 1:08, 2:08, 3:08, or 3:10, 4:07, 5:08, 7:08, and 10:08. So
So we could have four. I think 4 or 5 is possible tomorrow, depending on how long they go.
yeah, and no rain. Hopefully, there's no rain anywhere. That's gonna mess up anything either. But
But okay, I will ask the stream. You know, feel free to weigh in. I feel like right now, I would put like in the misery index of day one, it's Twins here, and then Cleveland fans, Indians here,
mm,
just because if I'm a Twins fan, like seeing that happen again, if you're a Twins fan, this is the story of your playoffs in the 21st century, and that part has to be rougher even than having your ace and Shane Bieber on the mound and having him give up 7 runs in a game that you rightfully came into tonight thinking, yeah, that's the one we're going to absolutely get. Now can we win one of the next two?
yeah, I think for the Twins, it's now 17 losses or 17 playoff losses in a row now. So that's
That's insane.
That's not a monkey on your back. That's a very large gorilla at this point.
If that happened in one season during the season to anyone other than like the '03 Tigers or the '62 Mets, you'd be like, what is going wrong here?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have to deal with the Braves not having won a playoff series since 2001,
but they have W's.
They've won some of those games, so.
Yes. Your problem is Craig Kimbrell standing in the bullpen at Dodger Stadium like, I'm ready. Bring me in. Why are you not? Come on, Freddie. I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to get through tomorrow, but we'll make it. And today we got a lot of the playoff rosters, and as with Adalberto Mondesi in the past, there's going to be 3 players on teams' rosters that have never played in the big leagues yet that might get their first shot in the playoffs. I guess we'll start with Chase McCormick of the Astros. You want to give us a little
Chaz,
background?
I believe, but yes.
I added just for fun.
21st round senior sign out of Millersville, Pennsylvania University. If he gets into a game, I believe I did the research today. That'll make him the first position player from Millersville ever to play in the majors. They have had a couple of pitchers. I think 3 pitchers actually make it. But outfielder can play all 3 spots. Not really any carrying tools. It's kind of an interesting one, but at the same time, it makes some sense from the standpoint of you say, okay, we've got these massive, and for a 3-game series, these are massive rosters where he's a guy who you could see needing, or wanting to get into the game in late innings, defense, pinch run. I don't think he can pinch hit. Not that he can't, but I just don't think they're going to need him to do that. But those kind of things. I mean, he's a guy who very well could come through the series not playing, but I kind of hope for him that he does get into a game so that he can say he played in the playoffs.
Does he have like a standout trait or anything that?
No, he is a well-rounded gamer is what my notes that I have from talking to scouts last year. Obviously not this year because there were no games this year to talk to people about. But my note from last year talking to the scout about him was well-rounded gamer, no real plus tool.
Yeah, because when we saw Adalberto Mondesi do it, was it 2015?
15? Yeah.
Obviously, he's lightning fast and actually can play a bunch of defensive positions, but
lightning fast, can play shortstop, great arm. There's a lot of attributes that he could do kind of in that kind of weird kind of fill-in. And if I remember right, it was because Christian Colon had wife was having a baby maybe or something. There was something that happened with it. That was why Mondesi ended up making it.
And the next one we have for the Twins, Alex Kerloff.
One of their best prospects.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked to see him start a game in this series.
Surprised he really wasn't used during the regular season. I mean, he's just kind of hanging out at the alternate site all summer.
Yeah, all summer playing on all-site games and all. And I think that what you're looking at there is he can play first, he can play the outfield, and so maybe he gets in the game. Miguel Sano's been struggling. It wasn't a terrible, at bat, but bases loaded first inning, if Sano gets a hit there, that probably is the difference in that game. And he was edged out by, a half of a step, I guess.
If that, maybe like a quarter of a step.
Yeah. Quarter of a step, 1/10 of a step. But so I wouldn't be shocked. He's one of their best prospects and someone who could do it. Oh, and if Cardinal fan doesn't say something about Gorman and Carlson in the chat, then I think my head explodes.
Oh no, you already did. So
yes,
good. And also, just for the folks playing at home, in the BAPL, Kerloff / 283, 351, 468 with 26 home runs, 38 doubles.
Not bad.
And then last but not least, Shane Mcclanahan, the left-handed pitcher for the Rays.
I kind of like this addition. Working out of the pen, power arm, big time power. And just adding to what is already the deepest bullpen in baseball, probably. It's not like the Rays have a guy who you say they don't have a Josh Hader in a normal year, Devin Williams, things like that. But what they do have is like 7 guys that they feel comfortable with, 8 guys, and Mcclanahan may be number 9. I would love him in kind of just kind of matchup type situations, lower leverage probably, because I can't imagine you would throw him in a high leverage situation right away in this. But yeah, that's
maybe if
I'm excited to see him up too. Again, one of the better prospects in the Rays system getting his shot.
Yeah, and an ace for the Rays team in the Baseball America Prospects League, going 20-3 with a 2.32 ERA and a exactly 1 WHIP. So, pretty good.
By the way, thank you, Max Fire. Your memory is better than mine. It was Zobrist, and really, I think the roster flexibility was useful there for them. He did play for them, and yes, he did seem like he probably Alberto Mondesi, I think, had to have the strangest season of anyone in a short 60-game season, because if you just watch late July and August, you thought he was one of the worst hitters in the league. And then you flip it to September, and he was right away one of the best hitters in the league. So, pretty amazing.
All right. So, that brings us into talking about the Baseball America Prospects League. We are up to the wild card part of the playoffs. Last week, we pretty much wrapped up all the stats for the regular season. And if you want to check those out, you can go over to baseballamerica.com right now. Up on top, you'll see BAPL Sim. You click on that, and then you can go through to our Stats Plus page with all the league leaders, all the standings, all the information from the league is up there if you want to check that out. I think I got a link for the chat in there somewhere. There it is. So head over there, check it out so you can see all the stats, because why recap all the stats that we watched one extra game from the stats that were from last time. So for the playoff picture, we have the Rays have the bye, so they're waiting on the Orioles and A's to play their wild card game tonight, and then the Twins and the Mariners are the other side of the American League Division Series. On the national side, the Braves are waiting for the Reds and the Phillies to play, and then the Cardinals and Dodgers are the other NLDS matchup. So our choices for tonight are Orioles versus A's. We got Bauman versus Jeffries. And for the Reds and Phillies, we have Vladimir Gutierrez against Spencer Howard.
By the way, we have bunting. We know it's playoff time because we have bunting. Festive bunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a tough decision. So while we make that decision, let's give away a 1-month subscription to Baseball America. How about that?
That'd be a good way, and people, while they do that, can also weigh in on if they have a preference. Because I'm leaning towards Orioles A's myself, but I could go either way.
I was going to say, we haven't seen Spencer Howard pitch. He's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, that also would, again, I'm good either way.
So I'm down for either. Also, why don't you give us a quick recap of what's been going on with this whole MLB, MILB thing, Appalachian League,
tomorrow,
Wood Bat League.
Tomorrow is a big day with that, which is tomorrow is the deadline where the current deal expires. Doesn't mean they can't keep talking. I expect they will keep talking, but it does mean that we've been talking about September 30th. I've been talking about September 30th for a year now, really 2 years. And tomorrow it arrives. After that, there is no actual current contractual agreement between Major League Baseball and minor league baseball as far as Major League Baseball fighting players to minor league teams. So there's a lot there that can happen. It hasn't happened yet. It can happen. The Appy League today, though, kind of got ahead of that, which is the Appy League officially acknowledging they're not going to be affiliated professional baseball next year. That was kind of a fait accompli for months now, but they accepted that and kind of I think, got a pretty good deal. I think they would say out of it, which is they said, okay, MLB, you say you want baseball in these cities. What do you want? And the MLB basically said, we want you to be kind of the rising freshman, rising sophomore draft prospects league, which a number of Happy League operators I talked to today say they think it's not going to be a whole lot of difference from what they were seeing before, as far as talent. The average, I ran the numbers. Average Happy League team gets about 4 to 5 players a year to the big leagues from a club, and they're going to, think that they will have something like that with this new system also. So we'll see, but it does mean that the Happy League is safe and sound for years to come. It would appear.
I think, was there an update with the Atlantic League too?
The Atlantic League, American Association, and Frontier League, 3 independent leagues, are now professional partner leagues, which is a little wordy and ideally will be fixed at some point. But sorry, I'm fidgety tonight because I've got some allergies going on.
Quite all right.
But yeah, so they are now partners with Major League Baseball. They will continue to operate much like they have in the past, but they will be tied in with MLB in much closer ways, which will be significant.
And last year, we had the first kind of rumblings of this with the Atlantic League, where they were starting to take over some of the experimental rules and stuff. Does anything really change with them under this new system, or is it just kind of the same thing, and now we're adding in more teams to that?
The Atlantic League is still going to be the league that experiments for Major League Baseball. The other leagues, the Frontier League and the American Association, do not have the rule experimentation as part of this. They will have TrackMan and all that will send data back to MLB, which could help players get signed out of those leagues, things like that. But they're not going to, be trying new pickoff rules or moving. I don't know if we're ever going to see the moving the mound thing that they talked about last year, but moving the mound, things like that.
Yeah,
the moving the mound was the one that they the Atlantic League players, pitchers and hitters, but especially pitchers, that was the one where they're like, we're dealing with a lot. We'll let you put, automated ball strikes, okay. Pickoff rule where you can't, you have to step off before you throw, okay. Which affects lefties effectively. But when they said moving the mound back, a lot of these guys were like, yeah, I'm out of the league to do that.
Yeah, it's so just
they did not.
Because their goal is to get to Major League Baseball with a 60-foot mound. So with a 62-foot mound, I would go to a different league as well if that was my choice. All right, let's close up this giveaway, pick a winner, and we'll dive into this athletics. What did we say? Athletics and Orioles game. And the winner is Don Bosox. Congratulations. Congratulations, Don Bosox. Send the message to AZ Axel with your email address, and we'll get that all taken care of. Let me put that in the chat just in case he's got us on mute and he's watching the Yankees-Indians game.
Can't fault that if he is. I'm watching the Yankees at Cleveland game right here. Adam Simber on the mound.
I mean, I'm also watching it over here too.
So when I look up like that, that's not because I'm just checking the score.
Okay. So let's see who we got here. Bauman, Jeffries, and should be a good game. I mean, both these teams won the wild card. And I think they... I forget who it was. I think the Orioles actually had to play a 163rd game with someone, because I believe they were tied after 162. Yeah, they had to play the Tigers? Yeah. They had to play the Tigers in game 163 to see who would take that spot. So we got, let's make us a little smaller, put us up here. So for the Orioles, left field, Ryan McKenna. Center field, Austin Hayes. Behind the plate, Adley Rushman. First base, Ryan Mountcastle. DH, Tyler Nevin. Right field, Yusniel Diaz. Third base, Rylan Banyan. The names were easy at the beginning, and as we get lower down this roster, shortstop we have Caden Grenier. Second base, Adam Hall, and then TheRinger.com's Mike Bauman, pitching. For the A's, Jorge Mateo, because we didn't move him, is the DH Sky Bolt, one of my favorite baseball names. I think I always pick him up when I see him on the free agent pile in out of the park, just because I have to have Sky Bolt on the team. He's playing right field, and he's on fire, so he could be really good tonight. Sean Murphy behind the plate, Seth Brown at first, Sheldon Newt.
Okay.
Noisy?
I'm getting ready to jump in for you here.
Noisy,
I'm tapping
right?
in. Noisy.
At third, Logan Davidson at second. That's all you right there.
Lazaro Armenteros.
Yeah, he's in left. Austin Beck in center.
Robert Pueson.
He's at short. Dalton Jeffries on the mound. 15-7 for Jeffries on the season. Not bad.
And here we go.
It's like the top of the lineups, easy names. Bottom of the lineups get a little crazy. I feel like the game noise is extremely loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. Or I just have my speakers cranked up very much. All right. So if you guys have any questions for JJ or myself, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll answer them to the best of our ability, I guess. Unless the question is, how are we going to try to watch every baseball game tomorrow as it happens?
That is not quick. That is.
We need one of those like computer setups from like Swordfish.
I do love the expansive foul ground of the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
I got to knock OOTP. Come on. I do not see any raw sewage bubbling up from either dugout here. So
maybe next year.
Yeah, that's a feature that needs to be added.
Well, now is it supposed to be better now that?
It is supposed to be a little bit, but it's definitely something that has happened on multiple occasions. As we always have. Adley Rushton up, two-man, on second and third. But we always have big first innings.
I think actually last week with Kyle, we didn't have a run in the first inning.
Well, I wasn't here.
And I think we got 3 in the second or something. And I don't think there was a wild pitch either. So maybe it's you.
I don't think it was a wild pitch in our last game either.
All right, see, Baltimore drive and run there with the ground out. What are your thoughts on Bubic, Singer, and to a lesser extent, Stauman?
I do think that Kansas City has the makings of a solid rotation. Especially credit to Bubic, because he made the jump all the way from Class A and didn't seem like he had really a whole lot of trouble. Like, I mean, pretty polished for a guy who just was an A-ball last year. But I'm really kind of excited. Again, relievers are not as valuable starters generally, but Stauman, I've been waiting for this to happen for years because it's one of my Achilles heels that I can't not be fascinated by guys who throw 100 plus with a second pitch, and Stauman's always had that. He just has never had control to go with it, and this year it kind of clicked a little bit. And from that standpoint, I'm if you told me that Stauman ends up being a closer, wouldn't shock me. At the same time, I also would say if you told me that Stauman battled control troubles on and off for the next 10 years, that also wouldn't shock me because this year was a big step forward. Now he's got to be able to maintain it. But I am a big Josh Stauman fan, going back to his college days.
See, there was a recent patch, and I think it changed the volume settings in the game.
But two runs for the Orioles in the first. You have these do or die games. I mean, I do wonder if the manager truly understands the significance of not letting a league get too big here.
I mean, they should. We programmed it that way. But then there's some managers in real life that seem to have.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not. Yeah.
I'm going to be very upset tomorrow when I see Snitker puts it at the lineup and Ender Inciarte's batting ninth or leading off, because Snit does weird stuff like that. The question from Bailey OOTP that we all want to know is, when will we know the structure of minor league baseball so we can set up an OOTP league?
That's a great question.
We're all eagerly awaiting the answer as well.
The way I would put it is, by the way, okay, here we go, Caden Grenier. The way I would put it, Ian Anderson, by the way, cheese truck. I think that's an easy one. Ian Anderson should be the Braves guard too. But the minute we hear what the 120 is and the league structure, that means this baby's basically done, because that's the part that they're not going to explain until they get everything else worked out.
So, if that does happen, how many players are going to... What's going to happen to all those other players, and are they just all going to be released, or...
Spring training, if we have a normal spring training, imagine like King of the Mountain, where there's like, they throw a baseball out to first base, and they say, okay, there's 4 of you, 5 of you, 6 of you, and 2 or 3 of you will survive. I mean, it's going to be brutal.
Yeah,
if you have the Yankees, who right now have 9 minor league clubs, and after this, they'll have 6. And by 6, I mean 4 full season, a Gulf Coast League, and a Dominican Summer League. That's a lot of players who aren't, who aren't going to have jobs. So yes, that is absolutely going to happen when, and I wouldn't say if. I mean, it's when this reduction happens. It's going to be 120. We don't know who the 120 teams will. We don't know if there may be I think that there'll probably be a 3rd AAA league, like a middle of the country league, where they'll divide up to do that. PCL out west, middle of the country, which we used to have with the American Association, and then the IL on the East Coast. But we don't know. We won't know what the exact structure that's going to be, maybe for a little while longer.
Yeah, hopefully, we get that sooner than later. Not only so that we can program it into the game, but like so some of these players can try to figure out what to do with their baseball careers at some point, because that would be...
Well, but one thing also to think about that is that there are less, right now, there are less professional players than there normally are at this time, because there were, instead of a 40-round draft, it was a 5-round draft. And so a lot of the players who would, if it had been a 40-round draft, the players who would be released potentially are the ones who never got drafted and signed, because they basically said, we're not going to need to stop rookie and short season league teams this year, so they didn't draft and sign them. And unfortunately, that also does mean that I would say that there are guys who would have been major leaguers who may never play professional baseball now. Because development is not always a linear process, and some guys who would have potentially developed into big leaguers are ones who will say now, well, I guess, I didn't get drafted, I'm going to go on and do something else for my life.
Yeah, and I wonder what after this goes for a couple years, I wonder what the churn is going to be like. Like, with so few teams, are you just not going to see, like, the 27-year-old guy in AAA that's just been stuck there? Or are they going to get rid of him and try to start moving other guys?
There are Bunt, but Bunt pop-out, Lazaro. But, yeah, I mean, the ways that this will, if you wanted to take it next level, if you are in a 10-year agreement with a AAA team, does the major league team say, we don't need to worry about signing a veteran minor league free agent to help make sure that team's pretty good, because we don't really need to worry about that. They're not going anywhere for 10 years. I don't know if that will happen, but I wouldn't be stunned if it did. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I think it was, if you look at like the Braves, I only know the Braves. When I'm going into the deep minors, I only know the Braves. They have a bunch of older players that, like quadruple A players that are on that triple A team, that if there's only 4 teams and some of those lower prospects are going to have to be in higher leagues.
But some of those guys you're still going to have, because those are the same guys who went to the alt site here, which is, some of those guys are there to me because you're saying, if an injury happens, it's not just the prospects that you have in AAA for that, but it's also the guy who you say, if we need a guy to come up for 5 games, is this a guy who can do that? So you'll have a shortstop there a lot of times, or a catcher, or a center fielder who's not gonna he's not gonna be on the 40 man. He's not gonna be up in a normal year, but if it's a break class in case of emergency type guy. Nice play, but no, not gonna get the 111 off the bat by Adam Hall.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes coming for baseball.
Yes.
Next year and the years to come. We still got the Orioles up 3 and looking to increase their lead with a runner on second.
Michael Ballman just rolling so far.
Wow, we're already going to the bottom of the 4th. Didn't even see that coming.
No, Ballman's just been.
Yeah, they have to add a middle of the league, a middle of America league, especially if they want to keep the AAA teams near the.
Right, if you want to do
teams.
Geographical locations and all, make it closer, shorter travel. Now, again, you can do that one of two ways. You can do it where you have 2 leagues, AAA, but you say we're going to have interleague play, and so that's going to be it's Mateo too, so easy double there because he can fly for Jorge Mateo. But you could do it one of two ways. You could say we're going to have 3 leagues, or you could say we're going to have 2 leagues, but we're going to have interleague play, and so we're going to have the the Nashvilles of the world play the Gwinnett's of the world because they're only a short bus ride away, even if they're in 2 different leagues. So you could do it 2 different ways, same reality either way. But they're going to do same way the Class A. You're looking at, 2 on, corner on the corners, tying run at the plate.
And we also just had a pass ball, so we're ready for some fireworks here.
And I was on Adley Rushman. Come on, Adley. But you could also see an A ball. You're going to see like the South Atlantic League could be a 12-team league, or not a great one there for Sean Murphy, but he does get the run in. But or it could be a 6-team league with the 6-team Mid-Atlantic League, and maybe they play each other. Well, again, half dozen one, 6 the other. Nice way to get out of that. Oh, he didn't get out of that. I thought he turned to it.
Only got the easy out to second base. But yeah, for more coverage on what in the world is going to go on, highly recommend you head over to Baseball America and read all the JJ stuff. Just start from like 2 years ago and read every post JJ's done.
If you click on any of my stories, and then like I have a story up today about the Appy League, and you click my name, it'll give you all my stories going back, and with that you can read literally, I think, 24 stories about this over the last 2 years.
I feel like it's been 24 stories about this in the last 2
weeks.
In
the past 2 weeks? Yeah, it feels like that. I'm working on another one for soon.
Also, I don't know if you know, tomorrow, September 30th, big day. It's International Podcast Day. So if you're not already, head over to your podcatcher of choice and check out the Baseball America podcast. And also,
that's one of the crazy things we do is we do daily playoff podcasts. So I will be podcasting tomorrow morning about everything that happened today, right before we get around to what's going to happen tomorrow.
And I mean,
I get that one up.
If you needed a special guest to come on and talk about the Braves, I can clear my schedule if you need.
We will wait until they actually play a game, but I assume that you're a little nervous because
I'm absolutely terrified.
Because the memories of last year are. Oh, by the way, an insurance run there for the Orioles.
But now we got Ozuna, so it's okay. We took him from our enemy and made him one of ours, and maybe an MVP candidate. We'll see, but
I think Freeman's the better MVP candidate for the Braves, but
hopefully Ozuna doesn't steal votes from him and mess up things.
I had a BBWA Rookie of the Year vote, which means I can't talk about who I voted for Rookie of the Year. But let me just say, in the National League Rookie of the Year this year, that was not easy. I can say that much. That was a lot of painful work trying to figure it out.
Well,
a lot of good candidates.
Didn't Bohm almost qualify or he came up a couple of bats short for the
couple of bats short of qualifying for the batting title.
But there was a way on the last day, if some things worked out, that even if he took the 0 for 6 to become qualified, he still could have been the winner.
Yeah, so I mean, so this, we see this every now and then. Rule, I'm not gonna remember the rule number, but if you're leading in batting and you can take an offer to get to the qualifying level, then you can be the champ. Because the idea being, we're not going to penalize you for a fact that if you needed 5 at bats and you went over 5, you'd still be the batting champ. Well, then you're the batting champ. But yeah, he did not.
Yeah.
Juan Soto, I think, right? The first of probably many batting crowns for Juan Soto.
I want to say, I don't remember who it was, but it was either Acuna or Albies in AAA. They won the batting title because of that. I think they had to take like an 0 for 15.
Albies. I'm pretty sure it was Albies.
Yeah. I think it had to take like an 0 for 15 or an 0 for 20 or something and still ended up with the highest batting average.
By the way, these A's innings are happening fast, which is a good sign for Bauman, but not a good sign for the A's. And these Orioles innings are taking longer. And Caden Grenier with his second triple of the game?
No, sir. Thrown out at third.
Oh. He's trying to get his second triple of the game.
Sky Bolt with a lightning bolt of the throw from. Right.
Well done there.
Yeah, 4-1 Baltimore here.
We don't have, TJ, we do not have the Braves playoff roster yet.
Terrifying.
We had some surprises today, like you said, with Mcclanahan and Chaz McCormick and all. But if you found out tomorrow that Mike Fultonewicz was added to the roster and will pitch Game 3, what would that mean to you?
That would mean a lot to me because I had this great idea. The best way for the Braves to win the World Series is for me to bet against them in every round. Because I figured, best case scenario, I bet $25 each round on the team that they're playing. And worst case, I lose $100 and the Braves win the World Series, which I'm completely fine with that happening.
You would do that trade?
I would do that trade in a heartbeat. But if you're telling me Mike Fultonewicz is starting Game 3, I am very excited for the, I think, $29 that I'll be getting back when the Reds win the series. I don't know. There's a chance Braves could win in 2. I would hope that would happen because I think the idea right now for Game 3 is like Wright and Tomlin.
Gotta be Kyle Wright, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be Kyle Wright. I don't think there's another option at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a Wright and Tomlin duo for that start. That does not get me excited at all. I'm very interested to see what this
versus
looks like.
Again versus Sonny Gray or Luis Castillo or Trevor Bauer, because that's their rotation.
Yeah, they have a slightly better rotation. But I mean, we've seen how Fried pitched, but haven't come out after the first inning of his last start, and Ian Anderson still pitched well in his last start, but got a little bit roughed up more than he had been.
More than normal.
So if we could win those 2 games, that would make me feel a lot better and be done there, but I don't think that's going to happen. But something that is going to happen, Oakland is going to draw within 2 after the single to right by Sean.
Jorge Mateo have a good game.
Good thing he's on the A's. I'm very worried about this Braves playoff roster because they're going to send Ender Inciarte out there, and I have the odd feeling that he might start one of these games, and there's a decent chance that if I warmed up a little bit, I could throw a baseball harder than Ender Inciarte could hit one. So I'm kind of terrified, and I don't understand why Posh hasn't been playing all year, except for the $10 million that they owe Ender this year and next year. And
so Bauman gets out of that. He stays in the game and gets out of it.
So yeah, 4-2 Orioles as we go to
TCU's Brian Howard, if I remember right.
You said TCU?
In the game.
A Horned Frog?
TCU Horned Frog, if I remember right. I'll have to look that up now, so make sure I'm not wrong.
Well, we could always just click on his...
I'm pretty sure I wrote him up for the draft for Baseball America, so... Yep, Brian Howard, TCU, 8th rounder. My report back then was 88-92 with a mid-80s cutter, average control, throws a fringy curveball and changeup for strikes, lacks a plus pitch.
Well, if he had a plus pitch, he maybe would get some outs now. But now he's got runners on the corners, and the only out he got was himself, as Wanderson Charles comes in to pitch for the A's. Don't correct me on Wanderson Charles' name.
No, I think you're right, actually. I believe it is Wanderson Charles. And this could, round Mountcastle, so this could get ugly here.
It could, but we got was that a strikeout there?
Strikeout.
So Tyler Nevin, 1 out, runners on the corners.
Tyler Nevin, who we did, unlike Jorge Mateo, who I failed to update. Tyler Nevin is updated. He Rocky until just recently. Hey, Skip.
Struck him out too.
Wanderson Charles doing some work here.
I don't need to worry about Ibandel Isabel coming up for the Reds on this playoff roster by any chance, do I?
No, you do not. Oh! Baltimore, pack your bags. You are headed on to the second round of the playoffs, it would appear.
Well, we would hope. After Diaz's 3-run home run. Oh yeah, Ibadel, I think he ended up with like 280 strikeouts. I feel like that sounds crazy, but I mean,
Speaking
it was like
of,
240.
I think that was strikeout 13 for Garrett Cole that just happened.
Nice.
11-2. Ooh.
All right. Bauman Gomack out there for the bottom of the 8th. He's only got 76 pitches, or bottom of the 7th. He's only got 76 pitches, so
76 pitches and a very nice lead now.
He's been economical. But this is where it could go bad. You can say, hey, I got this nice comfy lead. We can start walking guys and letting up some hits. Or we can walk a guy, then he can go steal second base, and the catcher could throw it into center field, and he could make his way to third base. Who knows? Anything's possible. Lazaro Almenteros. Quality name. See, just like that, you start waiting, and Oakland scores a run. Now
Yeah, but 1 run, they can trade ones for outs right now.
They're 3 bloops and a blast from tying this game up. Look, see, Bauman's walks another guy there. How quick did he go from...
Baltimore's winning this game.
He went from 90... What did he went from? 76 pitches to 94.
Mm-hmm.
3 batters. Like how earlier today we had 3 games on. And the next thing you knew, there was one.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Chicago runs often came on home runs. So I would look up and it's like, oh, something happened.
All right.
I think that's it for Bauman. They're gonna have to go to the pen.
Are they gonna let him face Jorge Mateo? They are. Not a good idea. Mateo's
I don't
good.
like this idea if I'm Baltimore.
And it didn't work out well.
Well, yeah. Well, that was not a good decision.
Zach Lothar coming in for the Orioles with their 7-4 lead.
Xavier, if I remember right.
Xavier.
Lowther, I believe. One of the guys with the invisible. Does a good job hiding the ball. Doesn't have great velocity, but gets swings and misses.
Yeah, I was watching...
Big dude, too, which you kind of can tell on the...
I was watching, what's it, Crochet? That guy looks like he hides the ball quite well for...
For a guy who throws 101?
Yeah. All right, Lowther gets that. No, there's only one out. What in the world? I don't even know what just happened there.
Error.
Was it an error?
Throwing error. Good to dirt.
Throwing error. You know, that's not good. He could have been out of that. But instead, tying runs on first now. But he's going to stay there as Murphy strikes out with him.
But it did make it interesting.
All right.
Game that's going deep into the night. It says it's 11-11 now.
Is Caden Grenier like the best player I've never heard of?
Oregon State. Cade Grenier's claim to fame is he's why Nick Madrigal played second base.
Ooh. Well,
although Madrigal's a little bit better hitter.
He's a home run shy of the cycle in tonight's game.
Wow.
And they just tried to do a pitch out and threw a pitch. Love it.
King Grenier is single-handedly going to.
Is he going to tag up? Ooh. Thought he was going to tag up from second.
He thought about it.
Also, you guys
just wanted to get the throw, but
I saw you guys did your first mock draft over on Baseball America.
Now that we know the draft order, we had to think of previous, but now we have the draft order. So Kumar Rocker number 1. I will give away number 1. Kumar Rocker.
Yeah, I think that's obvious, fairly obvious.
And by the way, the Pirates other piece. I wrote that story Sunday night, and the other piece on that was that the Pirates with this number 1 pick. And again, we don't know that for sure yet because technically, Major League Baseball, the commissioner's office gets to decide the draft order since it was less than 100 and less than a full season. I think it was actually 80 games, 81 games, maybe that was anything less than that. But this will be the Pirates' 5th time picking them first overall, which ties a few other teams for the record of most number 1 picks.
I feel like that's a very dubious record.
Yeah, it's not a record you necessarily want to have. And there are teams who've never picked number 1, which that means you've never been the worst team in baseball. Well, I shouldn't say that. Until, back when we thought of the AL and NL as 2 very different, distinct entities, there was the flip-flopping back and forth, so you could have the worst record in baseball and pick second. But now we are back to, you could not back, but now we are in where the worst record gets because they don't really treat the 2 as separate entities.
Now the pop quiz is: do you know all those Pirates number 1 picks?
Yes, I do.
I figured it was in the piece that somebody wrote about this. So.
No. Okay, going from one of them is pitching right now. Garrett Cole, 13 strikeouts, 2011. Then you go back in the 2000s, and they had Brian Bullington, 2002. And then you go back before that, and you had Chris Benson, 1995, I believe it was. And then you had third baseman Jeff King from Arkansas in 1986.
Great beer.
So I'm glad to say I had that off the top of my head.
So they also take a picture.
They have a lot, and sometimes it's worked out for them. Yeah. Oh.
And sometimes it's worked out for other teams.
Yeah. Oh, in Brian Bullington's case, they should have taken him as a hitter. Right. And so here we go.
Bottom of the 9th.
3 outs away.
Hunter Harvey, 3-7 on the year.
So that's a lot of a record for a reliever.
Let's see, 40 saves on the season. Let's see what happens here. 7-5. Full count to the first batter. Not what you want to see. All right, 1 down there as Armenteros grounds to third. Austin back up. And he grounds to first. So are the Orioles going to advance right here?
Oh, we're down to, as always, I'm slightly behind you, but I just saw him ground to first myself. Oh, Robert Puesa, pinch hit.
Don't pitch hit, let him go.
No pinch hit, let him hit 2 hits tonight. I'm sorry, Robert.
Ooh, Austin Allen coming in. Austin Allen? He has not been playing this whole
game. He has power.
He could tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. Ooh. Good wheels by the shortstop there. And Baltimore advances.
Congratulations, Baltimore. understandably streaming onto the field.
Yep, they're going to go on. Who are they going to play? I don't know how excited they're going to be to play the Rays.
Yeah, but hey, no, you're always excited when you win a playoff series.
All right, so let's finish today. Oh no, actually, the matchup for tomorrow's game or today's game changed to Santillan and Lindau. I don't know if I was the Phillies, I probably would have got. I would have left the other guy out there. Thrilling game as Philadelphia wins 4-3 and advances to the next round. Mccormick 2 hits. Muzziotti with 2 hits.
Everyone with a hit on.
Pretty much everybody with a hit, yeah. Ibadell had a hit, but no home run.
Next.
All right.
And we have
Jonathan India.
And we have someone making his regular appearance.
There he is. All right, so now, next week we'll have the division series. Tampa Bay and the Orioles. I got the Twins and Mariners, Braves and Phillies, and Cardinals and Dodgers. So.
And we have a lot of... I think Max came by just to say, this is perfect timing.
He's like, I'm ready to go. He's like, I want to go out.
It's time to go out. You know.
All right, so next week we'll do the division series. I figure we'll do a series each week,
yeah, absolutely,
a level each week, and we'll be good. So, just a few more Baseball America Prospect League streams to go. So make sure you join us again next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on Twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. If you haven't already, go to baseballamerica.com, get your subscription as low as $6.99 a month. Follow JJ on Twitter at JJCoop36. Go subscribe to the Baseball America podcast for International Podcast Day, so you can celebrate. Listen to his episode with Kyle from yesterday.
Yeah, we can
plus
post
one
it
tomorrow.
Today, and we'll have one every day during the week, weekdays, not weekends. We have to have a limit.
Only 5 days a week? Come on.
Yeah, only 5 days a week.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
So, everybody have a great night, and go enjoy the rest of the Yankees-Indians game, unless you're an Indians fan, because I don't think that's going to happen. But
I think that's not a lot of enjoyment if you're an Indians fan.
All right. Take it easy, folks. See you next week.